This is your timeless reading. Welcome to another episode of my 𝗖𝘀𝗵𝗺. 𝗖𝘀 is my rendition of universal life force energy that I was attuned to become a master of with my master, and that is called Reiki. Sitting with some uncomfortable energies after becoming a master, I have been gifted this, and this is my introduction to it all and for everyone. 𝗖𝘀 is a galactic source of light available for all, and seventh that reads the energy cannot nor will she confirm nor deny the existence of what the title of God is to anyone. However, what we can do is we can dive deeper into ourselves and see if there are anything that wants to come up in being who we are that challenges ourselves to become more of what we would desire to be more of. Who, what, where, when, and why that challenges us to become these things is absolutely irrelevant. What's more important is your ability to see, your ability to be aware, and the ability to make your own choices. And these choices are becoming harder and harder and harder for you to be in control of, especially if you are in the matrix. So, like in any other reading, time has no relevancy. Past, present, and or future energetical timelines could come forth for you within this reading because you are a listener to these energies. How these energies impact your life is up to your own resonancy and your own freedom of choice. That freedom is not free, because it came at a cost of listening to these readings. This reading, however, is at no cost to you. And this is how we pay attention to each other. We pay when needed. We pay so that we can listen to what it took for us to receive that level of interest, and we call it trade. You are now embarking into an ether of consciousness awareness that being your own version of representative source and force of self-will will allow you to understand that there is a narrative of two, freedom and sovereignty. Freedom has never been free. Freedom will sound like a good song to go attend to a party to, but sovereignty is the after party and the after party, because it will never stop shining for you. You can be wrong and right in sovereignty, and it has no legitimate effect to how you are being, because you are being, and that is the most beautiful thing that could be ever found in you being an actual living, breathing human being. So, for those of you who have taken upon this quest to be a human being, have taken on the quest to be the expressive form of that which it means to be human, consider yourself being very lucky, because there is no carbon copy footprint of you anywhere else. There may be a clone, there could be doppelgangers, as we call them, where you may have 6 more people look like you. At the end of the day, it's a whisper to a bigger game. That whisper of a game is there for you to pay attention to. And if you want to be a team player on that game, then you know what? There are a lot of people there and available who want to be ready for you to be on their team. But some of you are still afraid of wondering if the narrative is real, of is God real or not. As far as we can see, he or she ain't as real as we want it to be, because we want to see someone be God. Knowing that God works in mysterious ways, and when you ask, you shall receive. So what's the problem? We continuously ask for more, and we don't fix the problems that we say we want to get rid of so that the newness comes in. It's very confusing for ether. It really, really, really is. Ether is a vibrancy of frequency past your bullshit. So asking God, source, to come down to your level of bullshitry and fix thy problems is a very huge request. Because a huge request is asking you, what do you not have available in your own world that I make available in all of my worlds? What do you not see that is already available to you? The Alchemist, balance, invention, destruction. Kind of sums up humanity in a nutshell. The gambler, loss and risks. Yeah. The reading is over, ladies and gentlemen. The answer is in these two cards. Just kidding. The dancer, self-expression, strength. And then we have the pathless, difficult decisions, and lack of direction. With all the opening messages that I just had, these cards make absolute amazing sense, now don't they? Now, to be a gambler of life comes at a high cost, but those who gamble well are hustlers in the making. Do you understand how contradictory this life wants you to live? It wants you to be a walking contradiction. It wants you to be a walking contradiction. The alchemist comes in because they have an idea of understanding what it means to be able to put chemistry to things. All right, put 2 and 2 together and have something else come up. 1 plus 1 is 2, and 2 plus another is 3. And there's all this science and discoveries that comes from putting different type of elements together and let them just rock and do their own things. So with that comes the ability to invent things, which is beautiful for human consciousness to do, because look at all the things that we have materialistically around us. I mean, you're told as somebody who wants to be an inventor to look for problems and how we can find a solution to these problems, and then boom, you're an inventor. Okay, so with that, you ultimately, with a goodness, want to understand that you're bringing forth a destruction, because wherever there was a so-called problem, in order to fix it, we had to come and destroy the problem. Do you see the contradiction here? Do you see that there is a blasphemous beauty to be found in the beautiful disaster of contradicting love that is unconditionally conditional in the way that we understand things? Are you keeping up? The dancer is you, the one that has full control of who you are, whether or not you are bound by somebody else's controlling you or not, whether you are living at home, living in a shelter, living in a foster, any type of some sort of, this is not your doing, but somebody else is doing, and they're meant to protect you. That's where you've been indoctrinated in being your own dancer. Becoming aware of the dance floor itself and the environment, the atmosphere, the music, the ambiance, the feel of the floor, barefoot with shoes or with socks on. There is a level of having to understand how much room you can take up in a room, and that is your expression. That is your strength, all right? To consider yourself pathless is directionless, and directionless is never that what you are, because anything that's difficult to decide upon means that the only thing that's lacking is the ability of self-courage to ask yourself the question of what it is that you desire. What do you desire? Majority of you desire devotion and loyalty and love, true soulmates, and longevity and partnership. Most of you do not know how to keep it when it's rocking in your own fucking bedroom. And the reason is because you don't understand how to keep that same peace within yourself. If you can't handle your chaos, and if you can't bring yourself peace, then how are you going to bring any of that in a relationship? Some of y'all are getting so tired of hearing the same thing over and over again. And pretty much also getting tired that like things are a bit mundane and monogamous. Like it's a monotonous type of tune here. It's the same beat over and over and over again, and it's putting you to sleep. There's nothing exciting about this energy right here. Nothing exciting that makes it seem invigorating or understanding a narrative or wanting to do anything about it, because the narratives that are running around you might be completely not of your interest. And maybe that should be your strength. It should be your strength that if none of these narratives sound compelling to you, then you're not meant to participate in that narrative. You are meant to look within yourself for a narrative and then narrate it so that you become aware of your own self. Because what you've never been able to do is dance with your own shadows. And if you haven't danced with your own shadows, well then how can you understand if somebody's fucking you over? How can you ask for justice in somebody fucking you over if you don't understand the full capacity of what makes you vibrate? What makes you be a problem? What makes you be a joy? What are your cataclysmic triggers onto yourself and others? What is the atom of your behavior? What is the atom of your behavior collective? Because the focus is continuously of bringing yourself into wanting to be saved as if you're drowning. But no one can come and do the saving because you're actually not in actual water to be drowning. You're drowning in your own emotions, and you want somebody to be able to fix them for you. No one can be in your brain and give you the detailed reset of what it is that you're looking for. That's a false ideology to have an expectation of. But what someone else can do is they can alleviate by taking in your energy, taking a shit that causes you suffering, and sit with it for a moment, and then bring out something. The carbon footprint of what they absorbed will be some sort of wisdom for you, whether in speech or song or dance or action. And when you see that in the whole someness that you are, as someone else paying attention to you, you've reached another form of loyalty of yourself, and the ability to recognize what a better form of loyalty ought to be in human connection with someone other than yourself. Home may have not taught you these things. Home is not what you think it is. All right, home is not where the home Home is not where the heart is. It is something on the quest that when you feel lost and you're bouncing literally from home to home and you don't have any structure of something that is always there because it's always torn apart and replaced by another and torn apart. You always have to start over and over again. That's also not home. Home is all of galaxy. Imagine that. All of galaxy is your home. All of Earth, through and through, is your home. And the fact that home has had little niches of pockets where some of us can't trespass, or some of us need certain cards out of material paper in order to be welcomed on those lands, is a blasphemy in the way of honoring galactic longevity of light. Y'all humans have fucked that shit up for each other and for us. The Seven of Swords is an energy of deception. And to be on that side of knowing when you have been deceived is to know that you have to be on the lookout of also being deceptive with yourself and others so that you can see it as a warning sign. And that warning sign will offer you resistance. And resistance, just like in the other episode of the 𝗖𝘀𝗵𝗺 collective readings, resistance is fucking key. It is the key to everything that you ever will come to know to love. I promise you that. Alright, it's gonna get a little bit loud here, so I'm gonna start closing out this reading. Alright. We have Nine of Swords and Queen of Cups. To take all the energies that which it is we know is to sway with our emotions that we feel makes us have in a human life. We have empathy, compassion, we have fear, worry, joy, we have contentment, and just the ability to feel something very deeply. Being able to feel that deeply is part of the beautiful expression that human consciousness and human evolution is supposed to have with one another, so that way you can do something in engaging each other's romance for one another and to be of service when another feels a bit weakened. Your service will bring them more fruit and more wealth and more joy because it's fucking free. And there is no disintegration of any kind of segregation to understand that your problems are not just your problems, they're a collective problem, and we are not a problem, but we are all here just fixing each other up by paying attention. All right, we have twice written, once burned. We have the cord is cut. We have I had courage, I left it with you. I read that shit again. I had courage, I left it with you. Remember who this message is coming from. I had courage, I left it with you. Commit to desire. All right, collective, that is all that I will have for you in this reading at this time. I look forward into holding another reading session for you all in this type of energy zone. I hope you can feel the difference of energies from one reading to another on all of my channels. With that being said, I hope that you check out the description box below for a way to get to my other content if you haven't done so already. I'm wishing you a wonderful morning, noon, or night wherever you are in the ether of this time and space. May you keep flowing, growing, and glowing. Take care.